I love the title of the album, The Illusion of Progress. Let's talk about coming up with that title. There's a lot of different ways you could look at that.
You know, the title itself applies to so many things in society and in this world today. It's not where the title came from,
Right.
but it's all kind of coincides. But you know, we were standing around the table in the studio, you know, supposedly working, but really just hanging out and talking and getting nothing done. And,
there's a bit of that for sure.
and Johnny commented on it and that we needed to get back to work or something, and I was like, yeah, it's like the illusion of progress. And we all kind of looked at each other and went, man, that's a good name for the record.
Yeah, it turned out to be a great name, actually.
Yeah.
And then, of course, at that point, things started to get a little. Then all the music started to flow after you came up with the title, right?
Yeah, and, you know, we were in the writing process. You know, no lyrics were there yet. There was nothing really going on but some music for some stuff. And coincidentally, you know, at the end of the record, you know, when me and Johnny K one day were listening, we kind of made a realization that pretty much every song on the record in one way or another can be applied to the whole title concept of The Illusion of Progress. And that all happened accidentally. We certainly didn't mean to write a concept album of sorts, but it kind of turned out that way, just in the sense that pretty much every song can be applied to the title.
Hey, Mike, tell me a bit about the recording of the new album now and the rhythm section. John and Johnny aren't here. I hear those guys are absolutely like machines when it comes to getting a record ready. And
Yeah,
they
they do a great job, and we spent a few weeks getting the songs together. You know, going through the ideas and pretty much getting the arrangements down of the stuff, and it seems like always before you know it, those guys have their parts done. And
I don't think John has ever taken more than a week.
Yeah, no, I mean usually it's a few days. You know,
Drums.
for drums, and I mean that's
and old school is
a day and a half.
Usually shorter than that.
Right, it's incredible when you think about it.
Sure, I mean it was funny. Like we had drums and bass tracked by Christmas, and it was pretty much from Christmas till mid-May. It was Aaron and I doing guitars and the vocal stuff. So, but those guys did a great job in this record. I remember getting the CD and listening to it, just the bass and drums to kind of practice along with during the Christmas break there, and just as they always do. I mean, but this time they seem to really step it up.
Johnny K, who you mentioned a few times during the interview, for those people who don't know who Johnny is, has produced bands like Disturbed, and he's a really, really great Chicago producer. Tell me a bit about choosing to work with Johnny this time on the record.
He was great. I mean, we talked to, as we always do, we talked to a few different guys, and I'll be honest with you, he, besides Disturbed, he had Three Doors Down, and Aaron and I had a conference call with Johnny, and it went really, really well. I mean, he really seemed to have an idea of what he wanted to help accomplish with the band to really try and further our careers and, kind of hopefully solidify us as somebody that might be around longer. I mean, we feel fortunate we've been around as long as we have. But I'll tell you, I mean, I had a conversation with Chris, the guitar player in Three Doors Down, while they were working on the last Three Doors Down record, and he was like, "You got to use him. He's great." And really on his advice also. I mean, it went down and had dinner with him and met with him and really hit it off. And I mean, I think it was one of the better decisions we've ever made. I mean, he really, really stepped in, and I think helped us do what we needed to do to make the best record that we could.
Guys, it's incredible. How many bands can say that they've had 3 number-1 albums debut on the Billboard charts in a row? It's an incredible achievement.
6, we found out, actually.
Was it 6?
Yeah, I think there's 6 others. It was Disturbed, System
of a Down,
Van Halen,
Van Halen,
Dave Matthews, U2.
I think that's it.
I think that's it.
You're in pretty amazing company, and it's a great thing.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's, I mean, you, from the era when you guys came out, when you guys first started, you're one of the few bands that are still hitting it every time, where you constantly have people that are stayed with you in your fan base.
Been very lucky, very fortunate.
Very happy to be here.
Yeah. Yeah, we've definitely been very fortunate for that. And you know, I mean, I think that, I mean, I always talk about, you know, how everybody says how the music business is getting, you know, kind of going down the toilet. And but I think that one thing that kind of came out of that is I think it made bands give back more to their fans. You know, I think whether it's, you know, like us, we travel with somebody that, you know, pretty much tapes everything we do. We put these webisodes on our you know, website, and you know, taking pictures, and you know, for the fan club and all that kind of stuff. I think it's just giving more back, and I think it makes the bands have, you know, give more content to the fans, and you know, hopefully makes them come back.
Now, you were doing some solo shows for a while too, Aaron. Was that just to kind of have some fun and get out there and kind of get in front of people again? Why did you decide to do some solo stuff?
Well, I'd been doing the solo thing, but just keeping it to casinos for, I did it for like 4 years in a row before it was just kind of the next step to take it out on a real tour. And so for most of the year last year, I toured by myself, just sitting on a stool with my acoustic guitar.
And was it a lot of fun to do that? Was it interesting to see people?
It was, you know, it was coming full circle for me. That's what I did before I ever met any of the guys in the band. And you know, that's what I watched my dad do 3 nights a week as I was growing up, and you know, that was always really it for me. You know,
And your dad come
you know,
out?
I never owned an electric guitar until our second or third record. You know, I only had an acoustic guitar for my whole life, and so it's really it's like full circle.
The Corner. Aaron, this song is about a personal experience, kind of looking back at your childhood. Tell me about the lyrics to The Corner. And how the song came
You know,
about.
the song is basically about the house and the neighborhood that I lived in through high school, and you know, the first words and the last words to the song are it sheltered me from nothing but the weather, and that's just kind of referring to my house and the household, and I guess the amount of trouble that I was able to get into under that roof,
And outside of that roof,
and
too.
outside of that roof, and you know, where you know, it sheltered me from nothing but the weather. Drove by the house one day and just kind of stopped, and it was way before we were working on the record or having started writing songs or anything, and just kind of stopped, and it's always very strange to me how songs manifest themselves, because you know, I didn't know that stop was going to turn into a song.